Everyone get out.
Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks with me, Antonow. And today I've got the Type 59 review lined up for you guys. Now, for those of you who've got no idea what the heck is going on here and why I've suddenly got a Type 59 because you missed out on my last video, which was a Yak Tiger review, I'm just going to quickly explain it to you again. One of my German subscribers, General Denny, has very generously allowed me access to his account for a few days so that I can review all his tanks, and he's got some amazing stuff, like he's got a Type 59, Yak Tiger, T-32, IS-7, so I'm going to go through all these tanks and review them in turn. So today we're going to have a look at this body here, the Type 59, and this is a downright amazing tank. I really love this tank. It suits my style of gameplay just perfectly, and I really like it. It's a tier 8 premium tank. You have to pay real money for it. It costs 7,500 gold. So that's quite a bit of money. That, let's see, just for sake of comparison. Yeah, that will buy you 3 months of premium account. However, it's worth the money because this tank is really awesome. However, because too many people were buying this tank, and for sake of game balance, it was removed from the store on the, let's see, I think January 2012. Yeah, January 2012. It was removed from the store. And you couldn't buy it for half a year, and then it appeared in the store again on the 1st of August 2012, and then it hasn't been seen on the servers till then, and you weren't able to get your hands on one of these tanks here till this day from the 1st August on. So that's a real shame because I'd give anything to have one of these. It's actually cheap as premium tanks go, because if you look at the other premium tanks like the T-34 costs 12,000 gold. Remember, the Type 59 costs 7,500. So we're comparing T8 premium tanks here now. Let's have a look at the Russians. The IS-6 costs 11,800. The British don't have a T8 premium tank. The Löwe always was the most expensive T8 premium with 12.5k. And we've also got the Yak Tiger 88 with 10,000 gold, and then the FCM 50T with 11,900 gold. So they're all pretty expensive. There are only 2 tier 8 premium tanks which are kind of cheap, or cheaper than the rest, which are the Super Pershing, which isn't in the store at the moment because there are changes made to it. I own the Super Pershing. I really like it. It's a great tank. However, it's going to be nerfed, so I'm probably going to get the T-34 because, well, and then the other one is the Type 59. Now, if a Type 59 was available, I'd straight away buy it because this tank is just, it's an amazing all-round tank. It's got a whole pile of, well, it's not kind of amazing in any aspect, but it isn't really bad in any aspect either. So, well, we'll just have a look at the stats. It's got 1,300 hit points, which is really average for tier 8 medium tanks. Like, for example, the Indian Panzer's got 1,300 hit points, as well as the T-44. And yet most tier 8 premium tanks have got 1,300 hit points, which is a decent amount of hit points, really. You can soak up quite a few hits. That will, you'll be able probably to take about 4 to 5 hits in a tier 8 match. It's pretty light. It weighs only 36.4 tons in the configuration that my friend's got. And it's got, well, the engine isn't very powerful, but the tank isn't all that heavy, but still the power to weight ratio isn't all that good. And just see if we get one. Yeah, it's 14.29, so it's not bad by any stretch of imagination, but it isn't amazing. So in this tank, it has got some, that's just like the typical Chinese medium tank thing. Like, it's got problems accelerating, and yeah, it's kind of a bit overloaded for the motor. However, once it gets moving, it's kind of fairly speedy with 56 kph. You will reach that speed actually, well, not perhaps 56, but you'll be cruising up between 40 and 50 kph. So it's pretty speedy actually, and the traverse speed is really good too. 46 degrees per second is amazing for a T8 premium, medium. Next we come to the armor, and the armor is really interesting as well. It's got 100mm at the front of the hull, 80 at the side, and 45 at the rear. But the whole armor, well, you might think that this isn't very good, but it actually is, because it's armored not armored, it's armored well too, but it's angled very well. This is, well, I'd say actually it's a 45-degree slope. Tell me if I'm mistaken, but I would say this is a 45-degree slope, or if it isn't a 45-degree slope, it's definitely getting on for being one. Maybe 50 degrees, something like that. Anyway, it's sloped very well, and that will increase the actual armor efficiency to, I'm not quite sure about the exact figures, but I'd say that's about 160, 170 millimeters effective armor thickness. At the sides, well, 80 millimeters isn't very good, and it's there's no sloping going on here whatsoever. So the sides are really vulnerable, and the rear of the tank, obviously with 45 millimeters, is just, you know, crap. But the front of the hull is pretty bouncy, and it hasn't got any weak spots really. Like, okay, this kind of driver's hatch here is kind of a weak spot, but it's very difficult to hit. Then obviously the lower glacis, well, that's very small and very steeply angled, so you can get quite a lot of bounces from the front of the hull. But the bounciest part of the whole tank obviously is the front of the turret, like with nearly all high-tier Chinese tanks. It's got 200 millimeters, and look at that angle. That's just a perfectly rounded turret. Nothing will penetrate this turret. And I mean, 200 millimeters of armor is just amazing anyway. I mean, that's we're talking of mouse standards of armor here. However, the sides have only got 130 millimeters, so nearly everything aimed at the sides will penetrate, although they're kind of still angled, but all the same, most of the shots aimed at the sides will penetrate. And the rear turret armor, 60 millimeters, just, you know, basically doesn't exist, and it isn't armored all that much anymore. And another problem is that the ammo rack is located directly underneath this rear turret, so if you can get a shot at the rear turret of a Type 59, definitely try to take it, because there is the chance that you'll ammo rack it. So next we come to the gun. As always, we're going to have a bit more detailed look at the gun stats. The caliber is 100 millimeters, so that's kind of not all that huge, but it's kind of average for tier 10 medium for tier 8 medium tanks. The ROF is pretty good, 6.9, so that's say 7 rounds per minute is pretty nice. The penetration is alright. It's actually a bit, it's a bit mediocre really, but it's a lot better anyway with the Super Pershing. The Super Pershing only gets 170 millimeters of penetration, so 181 is alright. It's better than the gun of the IS-6, for example. It's still not very good, but it's tolerable. Then the damage isn't all that great either. Well, it's all right again, but it's not outstanding. It's just kind of lower average. The accuracy isn't all that good either, really. Well, 0.39 isn't appalling, but it isn't very good, and you can't really fight at long range of this tank. And the aiming time kind of sucks too. 2.9 seconds is pretty bad. So that means the gun kind of is the weak spot of a Type 59, because, well, the rate of fire is good and the damage is alright, but except for that, it just isn't very good. But yeah, it isn't a bad gun, you know. It isn't good at all, but it's not especially bad. It's just like lower average, but it kind of works out. It's not all that bad really. Then we've got the turret traverse, 46 degrees per second, just the same as the whole traverse. Is pretty nice. It gets a pretty good chunk of view range, 380 meters, and 600 meter signal range is not amazing, but it's it's not bad either. It's just average again. So that's got through the stats. And one thing I forgot to mention about the Type 59 is that it's actually a very, very modern tank. The Chinese got the Type 50, not the Type, the T-54 from the Russians, and they started improving it, and these improvements resulted in the production of the Type 59 in the late 1960s. And believe it or not, there are still over 6,000 Type 59s in the in service in the Chinese army up till now. So at the moment there are 6,000 Type 59s in the Chinese army, and like the Pakistani army has got Type 59s, Vietnamese army has got Type 59s, there are a whole pile of countries that have got Type 59s. So that's an interesting fact. Well, playing this tank is kind of, well, it's just kind of a classical all-rounder medium tank. It's got decent speed and decent maneuverability, so you should and it's definitely a brawling tank due to its bad accuracy, so you should try to stay on the move, if possible even fire on the move, although you'll probably miss, so it's actually a better idea to quickly stop, aim, and then shoot and drive on. This tank loves city maps. It loves open maps. So it actually feels kind of at home in any kind of map. If you can get hull down in this tank, it's amazing, because the front of the turret is just impenetrable for the tanks it's going to be matched up against. However, as you know, Chinese tanks, their gun depression really sucks, so that can be pretty difficult actually. Although, as Chinese tanks go, the Type 59's gun depression is actually pretty good. I think you're about able to get the gun down to about here. It's not amazing or anything, but it's better than the average Chinese gun depression. Like if you've ever driven anything like, say for example, T-34-2, then you'll know what's a really bad gun depression. Like a T-34-2 cannot depress its gun. It just doesn't work. It won't go down. It is impossible really. So it's a bit better on this tank. It's not amazing, but it's kind of alright. And the gun elevation is alright too. I think it will go up to about here. Yeah, so getting hull down this tank is kind of a good idea if you've got the chance to do it, like if it works out. However, if it doesn't, you shouldn't try to camp. You should try to stay on the move, brawl, get around your enemies, attack them from the rear, because your penetration of the gun isn't all that amazing. And you should just kind of be roaming around the battlefield really, going where you're needed, and just dealing with enemy tanks. Actually, this tank is very, very good at killing enemies that have already been softened up by allies, because of its kind of low damaging, high fire rate gun. If an enemy tank is on low health, you can just kind of go around his rear, shoot into his rear, and pretty quickly kill him thanks to your pretty good DPM actually. Yeah, so that's kind of the tactics you should try to be using in the Type 59. However, you should kind of be careful about going up slopes, because the power to weight ratio in this tank is kind of a bit, well, it isn't all that amazing, as with most Chinese medium tanks. It's got 4 crew members, and that's pretty useful, because if we look at the tech tree, let's see China. All of the Chinese medium tanks, let's see, I'm not quite sure about these two. I quickly have to have a look. Let's see, vehicle details. No, okay, well, the Type 58, for example, has got more crew, but the Type 34 and the T-34-1 and all the other medium tanks starting with tier 7 have got only 4 crew members. So you will be able to train your crew in the Type 59. For those guys of you who don't know how that works, you can take the crew of a tank and put it into a premium tank of the same class and the same country without having to retrain them, and then you can train your crew in the premium tank. That's especially useful if you've got a tier 10 tank, like for example if I've got the 121, which is the tier 10 Chinese medium tank. I probably won't be driving on that many battles with it anymore because it just doesn't lead anywhere. So I'll put its crew into the Type 59, and as I still drive my Type 59 a lot, just because it makes a lot of credits, I'll train my crew with the Type 59 while driving it. So that's a very useful thing. And that's why I'm not going to really spend all that much time on talking about crew skills, because you'll usually not be using the Type 59's own crew anyway. However, if the Type 59 is your only Chinese tank and you haven't got any other tanks, Chinese tanks, and you don't aren't training like crews from other tanks in this tank, you should go for repairs for your entire crew at the start. After that, snapshot and smooth ride for the gunner and driver are very important. You definitely want to have safe storage for your loader, because your ammo rack gets blown up and damaged pretty often because it's just directly behind this rear of the turret. And yeah, I guess recon is not a bad thing to have. Brothers in Arms isn't all that good an idea on medium tanks, so I wouldn't really recommend that. So yeah, that's about the setup that you should go for. Definitely get repairs for the entire crew at the start, because repairs is really important. And off-road driving is a good idea later on as well for your driver. So for your equipment, you definitely want to have a gun rammer, because this tank really needs its reload time to its fast reload to compensate for the kind of other kind of mediocre or bad stats of a gun. You definitely want to have a vertical stabilizer, and an enhanced gunline drive is a good idea too. I would probably go with this setup as my as General Denny went as well. However, you could also swap the vertical stabilizer for a toolbox. That's more or less your decision. I wouldn't go for improved vents, however, because it's a medium tank again, and it's not all that important really. So again, enhanced gunline drive, medium gun caliber tank gun rammer, and the vertical stabilizer. Yeah, so now we're kind of finished in the garage. Let's see some gameplay. So our first game in the Type 59 is on Sand River, and it's a standard battle. I'm heading for this middle section of the map on the left flank, and there's a scouting M5 Stuart there, so let's see if we can hit him. Oh, just 1 second too late. He pulled behind that dune. Is he coming out again? Yes, he is, but we can't hit him. So now we're spotted, so you have to be careful. I'm going to probably head out here to these mountains or ridges here, so that I can outflank my enemies if possible. So let's see if we can kill you, M5 Stuart. No, we can't see him, therefore we spot a tiger. Oh, there he is. Okay, you sneaky little bastard. That's for you. Although, you know, it's not all that an heroic deed killing a tier 4 tank in a tier 8 premium. Yeah, however, he's a pretty fast, sneaky scout, so we helped our team quite a bit, I figure. Oh, there's another Type 59 there, and he penetrates us. Let's see where he penetrated. Lower glaciers, there you go. And there's an FCM-50T as well, so we have to be careful here. I'm trying to angle my armor, as you can see, so that I increase the chance of ricochets. However, we have to be careful here, because when angling our armor, we have to be very careful that we don't angle it too much, because our side armor is only 85mm strong, and we have to be careful, because otherwise it will easily be penetrated if we angle it too much. Yeah, so there's a T-34 and a Tiger II there as well, so that's 3 tier 8 tanks coming up, and this is going to be really, really difficult for me. Let's see, what support have we got here? There's a T-69 and the T-34 coming up, and there's quite a lot of support back there. However, they're still dealing with that Su-152. So what I decide to do is I decide to go round the back and either rush for the enemy base or attack those guys there from the rear, because I can't penetrate most of those tanks there from the front. But before we rush through, we have to quickly deal with that VK. We have to aim quite well. That's a real problem with this gun, the aiming time. However, our reload is very quick, so we can probably still get the kill. There. That's our second kill after the M5 Stewart, although it's only a 6 tank, so there's a Tiger. He could be our third, or maybe we'll be his first. We'll have to see. Although the Tiger, I think that's actually a real shame with World of Tanks, that you know, the Tiger used to be, like in the Second World War, for example, the Tiger was actually one of the best tanks, if not the best tank on the battlefield. And in World of Tanks, it kind of just sucks. So I think that's really disappointing. Anyway, I'm kind of face hugging him. Hope that his bad gun depression won't allow him to shoot at my hull and force him to fire at my well armored turret. Although the Tiger's frontal armor isn't all that great, I'm still going for weak spots, because you know, you can never be safe enough. And there's the FCM50T and the T-34 coming round, and I must admit I wasn't expecting those guys there to come round, because you know, you don't really expect that kind of stuff from random teams. So you did a pretty good job, you guys here. I really wasn't expecting that. I actually wanted to go through and kill the GW Tiger P. I didn't manage. I know, I just didn't think that they would do that, but they did, and yeah, well played to the T-34 and the FCM50T. Okay, so that was a very, very short replay, so I'll show you another two. So our second game is on Prokhorovka, and it's a tier 8 game. The matchmaking is pretty alright. And one thing I forgot to mention is that this tank gets enhanced matchmaking. That means that the highest tier match you'll ever see in a Type 59 is a tier 9 game. You'll never get thrown into tier 10 matches. So that's very nice. And now if you look at the map, our team split up is pretty bad. There are only 2 tanks heading over to our right flank. Or actually it's our right flank, but from the view of the map it's the left flank. Those are 2 T-25/2s, and there's a Panther 2 back there as well, but he's AFK, so he doesn't really count. And that's pretty disappointing. However, if all of these tanks in this flank here rush the cap, then we'll probably be able to win the game. But you know, I can't really go over to the right flank, because I'm just not the right kind of tank to do the job, because my gun is too inaccurate, and this is just a brawling tank. However, just tanks like, for example, the Tiger II, the Black Prince, the Tiger, all those tanks should really be on the left flank, not on the right. So our right flank, or from the view of the map, the left flank, they should be over there, not here. I don't see what they're trying to do here, especially a Tiger. He's a real sniper. So anyway, at least they're capping, so that's something. And I'm trying to hold off the enemy offense on this hill. There's a Comet and an IS in front of me, and as you can see, this gun is you know, it does pretty well at medium to long range, but not medium to long range, I mean medium to close range. But that long range, it becomes a bit difficult. But you know, if you're closer than 300 or 400 meters, this gun usually hits what you're aiming at, if you wait for it to aim completely. So that KV-4 was burning, however he obviously used a fire extinguisher, or his crew extinguished the fire. So yeah, we track the T-29, and let's see if we can secure the kill, or if somebody else gets a shot into him. Our cap's nearly complete, only 85. I've already got 85, 90 cap points, only 5 cap points remaining now. And can we do it? Yes, we can. And yeah, we won the game. So that was a very, very short game again. And yeah, you could see this gun kind of is alright. And if you come from playing with super precision like I do, it's a real breath of fresh air. So I've showed you 2 very, very short games, so I feel kind of like I owe you a longer one as well. So it's a tier 9 match, the worst matchmaking you'll ever see in this tank, and it's a very tier 9 match. There are 6 tier 9 tanks in each team. I'm heading over for this middle section of the map because I want to try to do some brawling. That what this tank is best at. I hope that our left flank is secure enough, although there's an E-75, a Jagdtiger, and there are 2 tank destroyers over there, as well as an IS-3, so I think the left flank should be fine. The team split up actually looks pretty good. And now there's already a T-54 scouted up there, obviously he's trying to do some spotting. And the M103 is right up ahead, as well as the T-69. But now he's going over to our left flank, so I'm going to see if I can get some shots into him while he's crossing over. However, I don't aim fully because I just didn't have the time and we missed. You have to really aim this gun fully, otherwise you'll very, very high chance that you miss. Okay, we get a shot through the side of an M103, so that's nice. Let's just quickly have a look where that shot penetrated. Yeah, just right where the hull hits the tracks. That's what I'm talking about. That's a real weak spot of this tank. So the M103 is down, and we at last get a shot into that T-69. Yeah, so we've done pretty well till now. And there's an STI up ahead, and let's see, what's that? Type 59, another Type 59 over there. A Jagdtiger 88 is spotted down in our left flank, but he isn't really all that interesting for us. And can we kill the T-69? We can. That's our first kill in this match. And now I'm going to try to go around the side and see if I can attack, for example, that STI there from the rear. However, there's an M103 there, and I'm a bit afraid of him. So yeah, he's actually aiming my direction, I think, so I'm not all too eager to poke my nose around this corner. And there's an ISU over there as well. Oh my god, I have to be pretty careful. So I'm gonna go into cover behind this rock here and see if I can play the peekaboo game. Tiger 2 of the side of the turret to us. A nice shot into it. Now, however, he's turned his turret towards us. Go for slow glacis. No, we can't. Okay, side of the turret, we ricocheted. As I said, the penetration of this gun is not all that good. Okay, so let's see, where can we shoot? Commander's cupola. If we had just waited 1 second, we could have got a very nice shot at the side of his turret. However, we compensate for that now. Right through the side, and he's killed by, let's see, the Centurion killed him. The STI is down as well, however now the ISU is coming up, and it's got this fearsome BL-10 gun, so I have to be very, very careful here. Type 59 is down to only a few hit points as well, so we're actually really winning this game here. And now, as you can see on our left flank, quite a few tanks are coming around the rear of our enemies there, so that's very nice. And we bounce off the gun mantle of ISU. That's a real shame. That once again shows you how inaccurate, like this gun, the shots of this gun really, they go anywhere in this aiming setup. You can't really be sure to hit where you're aiming at. So we're firing on the move, and this is the only kind of situation when you actually should be firing on the move, is when you're actually directly in close combat with an enemy. So I tried to carousel that M103, but I'm not quite fast enough. He would have caught up with me. However, the GW Panther finishes him off before he could kill me. and we get a shot into the side of Ferdinand. And now I'm going to try to spot the GW Panther and take him out. There's a T-28 there as well, but he isn't aiming my way, I think. I think he's far too concentrated on defending his flank there. So yeah, we've definitely got this game in the bag. Wait, I think we hit the E75 there. I wasn't paying attention there, sorry. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that the GW Panther is somewhere down here, and yeah, sure, there he is. So we get a shot into him, and let's see who killed him. The Centurion 1 again. It seems like the Centurion 1 is doing a pretty good job here. I think he killed the STI as well, so good job, Centurion. Although I would have liked to have that Panther to kill, but you know, it doesn't really matter who kills him as long as he's dead. We miss that E75. That's again, you know, you shouldn't be really firing this gun on the move, except if you're really in close combat. So he's aiming our way, so we have to clear out of here. However, he's dead anyway. And there's a second E75 again. I'm firing on the move. I do that far too often in this tank. And let's see who killed him. The Yak Tiger killed the other E75. So yeah, that was a very nice game, and I definitely enjoyed it. And I just kept playing the Type 59 to its strengths there. You know, going close, getting close, and you know, with that M103 and so on. That's what this tank is great at, and it's got the speed to rush around on the battlefield and go where it's needed. However, you shouldn't really be firing this gun on the move, except if you're really, really close to your enemies. So let's have a look at some after game stats. Yeah, so we made 63,039 credits and 3.32k experience. However, this experience was tripled for the first win of the day. It was some kind of event. I think it was high 5 or something like that. Anyway, we got a Confederate medal, which is really nice because a Confederate medal is actually one of the most difficult medals to get. Yeah, we got quite a lot of credit, and that's just a great thing about Tier 8 premium tanks, that they just make that many credits. Remember, this isn't a premium account, and they made 63,000 credits, and that's not such an amazing game. I mean, it was a good game, but it wasn't that amazing. And if I had a premium account, that would have been 95,000 credits, something like that. So that's just amazing. And let's see, we enabled spotting damage to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemy tanks. We spotted the GW Panther, critted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies, and damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies, and killed 1. So we did fairly well, even although we didn't get all that many kills. And as you can see, we got the most experience on the team, closely followed by the Indian Panzer and the Centurion. The Centurion did quite a lot of damage. The Indian Panzer didn't do all that much damage. However, he got 3 kills in the Tier 9 match. Probably damaged quite a lot of Tier 9 tanks, so that probably gave him an experience bonus on his damage. Yeah, so we just came second after the Centurion with damage dealt, but you know, we enabled quite a lot of spotting damage and so on, so we did pretty well. However, if you look at the enemy team, they weren't doing all that well. But so what's interesting is that on the enemy team, the best tank also was the Type 59. So this tank, especially on maps like, say for example, that was Cliff there. Yeah, on maps like Cliff, this tank is pretty good. So we fired 18 shots, 13 of them hit. Again, you have to remember that this was pretty close range. 11 of our 13 shots penetrated. Again, we were quite close up, and say with, for example, that M103, we were circling him and shooting at his rear. We dealt out 2.5k damage, received 2 hits, 2 of them penetrated, and they did 1,150 damage. We spotted 1 enemy, that was the GW Panther, damaged 7, destroyed 1, and 1,049 damage was done upon our spotting, and we travelled just short of 2 kilometers. Another amazing thing about the Type 59 that I forgot to point out is that because the ammunition and repair costs on this tank are very low, you can keep a lot of the credits that you earn. Like for example with tanks like for example the IS-6 or the Löwe or the T-34, due to the really high ammo costs and repair costs, you have to pay a lot of money to resupply your tank after your battle. Even if you make a lot of money, then you still lose quite a lot, and you haven't got all that much money left then. But with the Type 59 for Super Pershing, you can keep a lot of your money because you don't have to pay all that much for repairs and so on. So yeah, we got 1,000. Yeah, okay, I already said that. So yeah, that was a very nice game, and it's conclusion time now. So as I already said, I really like this tank, and if this tank sometime comes back to the store, definitely, if you're looking for a premium tank and you like fast, agile, medium kind of brawling, dogfighting medium tanks, definitely get this one because it's a really good tank. And if you're heading down the Chinese medium tank line, definitely get this one too. Yeah, so one thing that I might still, or two things that I still have to mention are that first of all, as the last time this tank appeared in the gift shop was the 1st of August 2012, maybe it will again appear on the 1st of August 2013, that would be in about half a month's time. Obviously I'm only speculating, maybe not, probably not, probably it's just gone forever from the game or from the gift shop, but it would be really awesome if it would appear again. Yes, I'd definitely buy it. The second thing is that, actually it still belongs to your first thing, that the other date that it might appear on is the 1st of October, because it's on the 1st of October the People's Republic of China was founded, so that would, to celebrate that, maybe the Type 59 will be available on the 1st of October, but maybe not again, so it's nothing for sure. The second thing is that one thing I forgot to tell you when talking about tactics for Type 59, this thing just excels at wolf packing. If you've got two other friends that also drive Type 59s and you go into a free you play in a platoon, you'll just really kick ass with these tanks. 3 of Type 59s wolf packing up together, it's just really troll. So if you've got two friends with Type 59s and you've got one as well, definitely do that, because it that's what this tank is really good at. Yeah. Another thing is that obviously I think this is the best tier 8 premium tank. If it isn't available, you should probably get the Super Pershing because it's the cheapest, and you get the most money out of it usually because the ammo costs and repair costs aren't that high. But that's the same thing with this tank. It's besides the Super Pershing and the Jagdtiger, the only tier 8 premium tank that's ammo doesn't cost more than 1,000 a shot. So the ammo, let's actually see how much it costs. 252. Okay, that's pretty cheap. So I can definitely recommend the Type 59. If it's in the store again, definitely check it out if you like these kind of brawling, dogfighting medium tanks. And if it's in the store, I'll definitely have to get it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it helped you out. And thanks for watching as usual. Follow me on Facebook, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.